Welcome to the Georgia Show, everybody. We got some Dogs injury updates as Georgia gets ready for Ball State. We're going to talk about some Dogs D-line pressure and a rising star that Kirby Smart's highlighted. And we'll take a look at some of the NFL Dogs that we expect to have big years in the league as the NFL kicks off this weekend. It's time for the Georgia Show. Let's get it going.
Better never rest.
Counting careless in the sky. What a thrilling time to be alive.
Guys, Ladd McConkey is a guy that Georgia would really love to have back, but not sooner than he needs to come back. And Ladd needs to be restrained by Scott Sinclair down there to keep him from coming on the field, it seems like.
Every single thing I've heard about Ladd is that this is precautionary, that they're not worried about it long term. They're trying to get him through kind of the early stages of whether it's a muscle pull or whatever. Kirby said that it was something he can't pronounce. They've done tests, they've done scans. Structurally, everything is fine, okay? And what we got here is a guy that's, kind of sore. He's starting to have some back spasms. I have a hard time believing if they're playing South Carolina Saturday that he wouldn't play. He may not play against Ball State, but I don't think – we've got a handful of negative Nellies over at DawgsHQ that kind of want to take every single update that says anything other than Ladd's good to go, he's ready to play, he's full speed, and his back will never hurt again. They want to take everything but that and turn it into this does not sound good, this does not sound good. But I'm telling you, something may happen between now and then to make this thing worse and – in this season, I don't know, knock on wood, because I don't want to see that happen, right? But as of right now, as of today, he's in good shape. Like he's in good shape as far as being able to play at least one of the at least one of these next two games, and get things rolling in there. I mean, I don't know if he'll go Saturday. I tend to think he will. From what I heard about yesterday's practice, I heard that he got a little bit more work than Kirby Smart indicated during his press conference, but we'll see. Ultimately, it just comes down to making sure he's healthy and kind of getting him some reps. And he's out there getting some reps. He's getting some non-contact reps, so the timing and everything should be there.
Yeah, Jake Kirby being able to pronounce it, not being able to pronounce it doesn't rule out much because he struggles with groin.
That's the right way you say
growing.
it. You say growing.
Yeah, he calls it a growing. It's a growing. No, I'm with you there. I do think that, everyone that's on our board saying, hey, we've got another AD Mitchell situation. I don't think it's that. And it's way too early to, even if it is that, if it does turn into that, it's way too early to say that because AD Mitchell, was missing games against marquee opponents. The first one that he missed was South Carolina because he got injured week 2 against Samford. Ladd McConkey hasn't missed in a game against a marquee opponent. No offense to UT Martin, but that's not a make or break game for Georgia this season. And neither is Ball State, And so, to me, it's they may rest him, like Rhett says in the comments here, back issues are no joke. Maybe you do just, give him some time. They're going to be careful because they know that they need him and they know that they've got receivers outside of him that can get the job done. So I'm not ready to jump to the conclusion that this is an AD Mitchell. He's going to be sidelined for the majority of the season situation. But I'm not saying that I'm expecting to see him on the field either this week.
Jack Moreno's a little snake bit here. He does think it's the AD Mitchell situation, and Georgia's just trying to keep it under the rug. But Jake, that's a pretty positive update you had, and Palmer too.
I want to tell Jack something right here. Jack, if it was a long-term issue and they're trying to sweep it under the rug, you wouldn't be practicing, man. You wouldn't be practicing. They would shut him down, and they haven't. They did for a couple of days. He's been practicing for the last 2.5 weeks or so. This is not, as of right now, this is not something they're sweeping under the rug or this is a long-term deal. Heck, right now, based on what I'm hearing, I think Kirby's making it sound even worse the way he's talking than what I'm hearing behind the scenes, which was the opposite of the AD situation last year. Kirby said AD could have came back in the game last year after the game, and we told you right then, we're like, No, he left the field and was gone, for the rest of the thing. Yeah, we're trying to get him back this week. We were telling you he's not practicing. Lad's practicing.
And if you look into what Kirby said, it does feel like he maybe misspoke there a little bit when he's like, he's not practicing with us. And then Lad has not practiced with us. He's done routes on air. He's run, he's cut, but he's not taking hits and done reps. If you just take, he's not practicing with us and that's your headline, it sounds like he's not practicing at all. But then Kirby goes on to say he's done everything that these receivers are doing in practice other than taking hits.
Yeah, and I think that is something that to keep an eye on. Honestly, I know that he hasn't been strictly non-contact. And another thing too, I was told by somebody that he went into Friday night. They checked him out. He was having some tightness and some back spasms. They went ahead and decided Friday night to say, hey, you're done. We're not, you're not going to play tomorrow. Then Saturday morning, he felt great. So, I think at some point they're going to get to a point here where they're going to run him out there and allow him to maybe try to play through it or see what it's going to do. But I don't think they're going to rush it either. But right now, I think there's a very decent chance that he plays on Saturday, gets a few snaps, gets his feet wet, things of that nature. But as far as I know, this week they haven't had to shut him down. He hasn't actually been beat up, but he is actually out there running routes and practicing and things of that nature. He's just not taking the contact right now. And I think a lot of that is just kind of giving him some chances to heal. But if this was going to be a long-term deal, they would shut him down. They'd shut him down. They would, explore procedures. They would do all sorts of things. They wouldn't just kind of keep him out there running and moving, jumping for passes, things like that. If they felt like, they were going to make it worse, or this was one of those things that's super, super finicky. I know it's going to be a little bit tricky because backs are. I can wake up in the morning and pick up my kid wrong and have back spasms for the rest of the day. So I know Lad, is probably in a lot better shape than I am, maybe a little.
Maybe a little. He doesn't know anything about picking up 3-year-olds and older kids than that. So he doesn't understand that injury deal yet. He doesn't have the old man strength. He's just got the Sinclair strength, and those are two totally different things. If they don't let him in the game, Lad might put him like a disguise on. Put a fake mustache and try to sneak in and get in the game. He's that desperate to go. Georgia fans desperate to see the Dogs running game improve a little bit from how it started. Daijun Edwards also working to get back. And Kendall Milton, we saw him. He toted the rock pretty well against UT Martin, but he's still not 100%. At least that's what Kirby said after the game.
Yeah, Kirby quoted him at 92% yesterday or on Monday, and then didn't give an update on, said he didn't have a number, but that was pretty specific. 92%. And look, to me, it stood out. This could easily be a, stock up situation here on Kendall Milton and his attitude and his leadership for this team. It was impressive to me to hear what Kirby had to say that, hey, Kendall understood the situation we were in. And, that we didn't have but two scholarship running backs healthy, and neither of them had played in a collegiate football game. And he didn't want that to be the case. That says a lot about Kendall, and Kirby, echoed those comments again this week and said that he's dying to get out there. And so, I talked to Kendall after the game. He said he was feeling good. I was not there when he said 92%. But if Kirby's got that number in mind, then I probably believe it there. But do think that better days are ahead for this Georgia run game because they've got those guys coming back soon.
I think that 92, it does seem kind of like a joke, but with all the data they have on these guys lifting and their velocity and their power and their speed and all that, I wouldn't be surprised if that was pretty dang precise.
Well, and he did quote today on the SEC teleconference, said that the data showed that he had his best day in a long time, that his speeds were up, his explosiveness, acceleration, and that he came out of yesterday feeling really good.
I just can't. I hear the word 92%. I can't do anything but laugh because I think back to the 90s teen movie, Can't Hardly Wait, with where Seth Green says 92%. in context, it's extremely funny. You should go watch the clip. It's very, very funny.
Dude,
Says
a
he's got
Seth Green drop. I like that.
Yeah, little Seth Green says he's got a 92% chance of making a fool out of himself in college because he's never been with a lady. So it's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, those are tough odds. All right, how about Daijun Mustard here?
He didn't Palmer, correct me if I'm wrong here. Didn't he say that that Daijun could have gone on Saturday? That they felt like he probably could have gone. He's wearing a knee brace. I already had a good practice yesterday. We'll see how it goes. But I think Daijun will probably be in line for a handful of carries on Saturday just to kind of get him lathered up and get him going. And then I think he'll probably be full go by South Carolina.
And he is out of the black non-contact jersey, so that's positive progress there for him.
Yeah, that's always good, man. I love watching him run. He never got enough acclaim, I don't think, and I think this year he'll be tough to ignore.